Let us rise and sing the National Anthem and remain standing for the invocation by Dean Peabody. Will you all rise?
Pray. O Almighty God, who hast given us this good land for our heritage, grant that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of thy favor and glad to do thy will. Bless our land with honorable industry, sound learning, and pure manners, and deal with the spirit of wisdom those to whom in thy name we entrust the authority of government, that there may be justice and peace at home, and that through obedience to thy law we may show forth thy praise among the nations of the earth. In the time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in thee to fail. Send down thy blessing upon this school, and especially upon those about to go forth from this place. May they serve their country and their God with faithfulness and devotion. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
We meet again, as is our annual custom, on the 65th anniversary of the founding of this school, to recall with thankfulness the vigorous and venturous citizens who founded the country school for boys in the city of Baltimore at Homewood in 1897. Their conception of the country day school was a unique idea in American education. And the pattern of this school has spread rapidly throughout our country, so that today the country day school is acknowledged as a vital segment of independent education in this nation. We acknowledge with thankfulness our debt to the men and women who conceived of this school and sustained it by their faith and their substance through the years. Backing of the community, which has made possible the steady growth of the school. This good fortune has again been evident in the response to our recent appeal for funds to improve and to augment our educational facilities. What we hoped for a year ago has become an accomplished fact. These improvements will be a great joy to both masters and boys, and our life here will have new opportunities which we eagerly anticipate. And on behalf of the school, I express our profound thanks for new benefits now under construction and provided by parents, friends, and alumni. And I trust that our gratitude will be evident in the use which we make of them and in the quality of the program which they will promote. We have a very keen sense of continuing obligation, made more acute by reason of the generosity of a great host of people which these improvements represent. Though more space and modern equipment are of great usefulness to any institution, these improvements should accentuate in our minds the insistent fact that the spirit and character of a school does not necessarily advance with a building program. The major ongoing task of this school is the vital aim of inculcating in its members those qualities of character which lead to high purpose, worthy values, and noble living. This has never been an easy task in any generation, but without any feeling of pessimism, it is realistic for us to recognize that the very complexity of modern life makes this both a more important and a more difficult matter. With the opportunities which have been made available to us, the major objective of this school should be not only the nurture of disciplined, inquiring, competent scholars, but also the development of boys who are steadfast in their devotion to truth and honesty and the highest standards of personal integrity. This latter aim is more difficult of realization than intellectual training, for it requires setting forth what is right and true in such a way that it will be accepted and made part of their lives as they go through this school. And in this important area, we have much to achieve. But at this time, when we are thankful for material improvements in the school, we would do well to renew our commitment to the never-ending task of striving to make certain that the character and spirit of Gilman, as represented in the attitudes and the actions of all its members, will be worthy of the best ideals of our people and the expectations of the founders and our benefactors. As we delight in the prospect of the new buildings, may we have a sobering sense of the unrealized possibilities that are before us with respect to the moral and spiritual ideals which we have thus far failed to achieve. And may our resolve and attainment, I trust, in this regard be evident in future years. And if so, it will represent a fitting expression of our appreciation of great benefits received. The class of 1962, which graduates today, is next to the largest class thus far graduated from Gilman. This has been for us a pleasant year, and the graduating class has done much to make it so. I can say with sincerity that we have enjoyed our association with them, and they have been, I think, uncommonly gracious and understanding of the expectations and the hopes that we have had for them and for the school. Their record of attainments has been worthy of their capabilities and perhaps more even and consistent than that of many previous classes. The achievement in regional competitive examinations in Latin, French, and physics has been very gratifying as evidence of their attainments. The opportunities before them are highly favorable, and they have given evidence, I believe, of being conscious of the seriousness of the challenge they face in college, where there is properly no tolerance for anyone who fails to measure up to expectations. This is as it should be, and I believe that the members of the class welcome and accept the challenge of this present day. 6 members of the class have had all of their formal education at Gilman beginning in the kindergarten. Their youthful pictures are in the cynosure, but I would like to salute them especially on this day and to say how glad we are that they have gone all the way with us. They are Andy Barnes, Bob Little, Duke Lohr, Bobby Mason, Fred O'Brien, and Bill Scott. I trust I have not failed to include anyone who should be in this list. I am happy that the first ranking scholar of the class is one of these so-called 13-year boys. He has always been a fine citizen, inquiring, imaginative, and indefatigable. His attainments are extensive, and there is a great deal that I might say about him. But I would like to say quite simply that we shall remember him most for the fact that whatever he set out to do, he pursued it with all his might. He did everything thoroughly, completely, and with the greatest competence and resourcefulness. It gives me great pleasure, therefore, to commend and to call upon the valedictorian of the class of 1962, Walter George Lohr, Jr.
Mr. Callard, members of the Board of Trustees, classmates, ladies and gentlemen. Around the world at this time of year, uncounted numbers of students are graduating, of which we, Gilman's class of 1962, are only a small part. Moreover, the many millions of dollars being invested every day in the production of rockets and missiles make the sum spent on our education seem insignificant, despite the fact that one of us may someday determine the success, failure, or replacement of these rockets and missiles. Though small in number, perhaps we may be able to contribute more than our share as a result of the opportunities we have enjoyed and the helpful experiences Gilman has increasingly made possible. Physically, we have realized many advantages unavailable to our predecessors. We were the first class to enjoy the facilities of the modern, well-equipped auditorium. Here we were forced to both sit through and deliver those agonizing but invaluable sixth-form speeches. Moreover, its easily accessible flat roof afforded us a strategic position for launching our own missiles at passers-by on the path below. Although we can claim little credit for helping to finance this building, we did have a share in the renovation of the former baseball cage. This much-needed addition to the school's athletic facilities was paid for largely out of proceeds from Gilman's annual extravaganza, the circus. We enjoyed this confetti-throwing melee and contributed much in talent and industry to its success. To you who follow us, the outlook for additional facilities is even brighter due to the successful completion of the Gilman Capital Gifts campaign. This drive, whose original goal was set at $500,000, has already surpassed the $600,000 mark. The seeming sunken fortresses which you see outside will, by next fall, be a science building and a new lower school wing. The success of this drive is largely due to the efforts of many devoted alumni, faculty members, and friends of the school, and it will enable Gilman to help answer the current demand for trained students of science. The benefits we have received from these new facilities have been coupled with the opportunity to participate in the school's expanded program of student responsibility. We were the first class to enjoy the somewhat dubious distinction of proctoring a study hall. Here, some boys learned the value of cooperation, and others the harsh lesson that students in charge are not such easy marks for pranks. The Judiciary Committee had its second successful year with several boys assuming the unpleasant role of giving out demerits. When the school's librarian became ill, several competent class members took over complete control until a replacement was found. The officers of the class continued the practice begun a year ago of holding frequent school meetings to permit the students a means of self-expression in the interest of greater self-government. While we have enjoyed constantly expanding opportunities, we have also had our successes and failures. To many people, perhaps the most significant achievement of the class of 1962 was an athletic one: leadership of the school's first varsity football team with a winning season since 1953. Moreover, the championship tennis team was captained by one of our members. We were responsible for the only swimming team in Gilman history, one which produced for 2 years in a row a Maryland champion, despite the fact that it had only one member. Academically, one member of the class of '62 was chosen by the General Electric Company as a research scholar, one of only 20 in the East. To look towards the future, the world today is a troubled planet, beset by numerous scientific, political, cultural, and economic problems. Each new discovery shows more room for research and conquest. The exploits of men like Glenn and Carpenter indicate that we are just beginning to tap the resources of space. The political situation shows a need for trained, dedicated diplomats. Moreover, our schools and colleges suffer from an appalling lack of qualified teachers, and the recent stock market gyrations bring to light serious economic problems. Of course, the class of 1962 is not the simple cure for the world situation. But, though small in number, nevertheless we can move conscientiously to help. A challenging curriculum and a good faculty have given us the opportunities to seek higher education. Thus, we are optimistic that out of all this, some one of us, perhaps each in his own small way, may be able to contribute to a solution. In short, we feel we owe a debt of gratitude to this institution, its faculty, alumni, and students, for giving us an academic challenge, responsibilities, and a degree of trust which perhaps we did not deserve. I think I speak for the entire class when I say we are proud of Gilman and proud to be graduated from it. Therefore, we have more to say than farewell. We say thank you. And if an institution is to be judged by its members, we express the fervent hope that someday, somehow, Gilman will be similarly proud of us.
It can be said without excessive pride that Gilman is distinguished for the loyalty and interest of the alumni, and this was strikingly evident last fall in the response to the campaign, both in contributions and in the solicitation. It gives me great pleasure each year to express very briefly the thanks of the school to the alumni for many helpful services and their great interest, and to introduce the current president of the Alumni Association. May I present Mr. William J. McCarthy of the class of 1949, who is an able successor to the very competent and helpful men who have preceded him. Mr. McCarthy.
Mr. Callard, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly appreciate Mr. Callard giving me such an easy man to follow as Mr. Lohr on the program. I can see that the style and tempo that has been set will be one that will not be equaled by him. I commend you, sir. Very briefly, it's the pleasure of the President of the Alumni Association each year to come before you and report on several facets of alumni activity and to welcome the graduating class to our ranks. This year, I have the pleasure of a twofold report to render. First, even though, as you are all aware, the present emphasis this year has been on the Capital Gifts campaign, yet the alumni-inspired, although not strictly alumni-supported, but supported by the entire Gilman family, the Gilman Fund has continued to grow until it now exceeds $100,000, and even in the face of the Capital Gifts Drive was increased by over $8,000 this year. We see this as a means whereby we can staff, maintain, and provide scholarship help for young gentlemen to take advantage of the facilities which the Capital Campaign has started on their way. Secondly, my immediate predecessor, John Nelson, last year came up with the idea, which we all received very well, of having an annual Gilman Family Day. Initially, this was limited only to alumni, but we need only to look to the recent support of our successful capital venture to see that the family of Gilman is by no means limited to alumni, but it includes all of us who are sitting here and elsewhere. It is by far a much more broad family. Therefore, we plan and we hope, as we did this year, to continue to extend an invitation to all those friends of the Gilman School to attend this day. In closing, I would like to welcome the class of 1962. As you all will probably recall, the theme of the Capital Gifts Drive was "All this was to be done for the men of tomorrow." As of this commencement time, I say to these young gentlemen, they are the men of today. Thank you.
Several members of the faculty, I regret to say, will not be with us in the fall. Mr. Edward W. Brown, Jr. will soon enter the Army as a second lieutenant in the artillery after a highly successful first year of teaching, and I can't begin to say how greatly we shall miss him. It has been fine for us to have him a member of the faculty this year. Mr. Edson is leaving to become headmaster of Columbia Military Academy in Tennessee. We are happy that he will have the larger responsibilities of this new post, and we rejoice with him in the opportunity that lies before him. But we are sorry to have the Edsons leave, and we will miss Mr. and Mrs. Edson and their son Gibby, who is the current president of the second form. As a remembrance, with our appreciation and warm good wishes, I would like to give to Mr. Edson an etching of the school, which he can hang in his new office. It will be a reminder to him of our high regard for him and our very best thoughts for him in his new school. Mr. Edson, will you come forward? We shall greatly miss Mr. Woodworth, who leaves us to enter a field which has always had deep interest for him. Many of you may not have known that he was a government major at Harvard, and he has always, in his free time, spent a great deal of time in Washington. And though this interest has been evident in the skill and enthusiasm which he has brought to the third form course here, many of you will think of him only in the music. But he has done much for us there in the direction of the Glee Club and in the third form course, and we will miss him sorely. On this day, however, our thoughts are happy ones for him because he is fulfilling a strong interest and desire, as he should do. and I would like him to have a remembrance of our great appreciation and our best wishes to him in his new field of work. Mr. Woodruff? The academic honor roll is listed on the enclosure in your program. This represents the best record we have ever had, and I would like to congratulate the boys who have won this distinction. I might point out that 7 received highest honors, 42 received high honors, and 73 received honors, out of a class of a total number in the school of 425. Citations for conspicuous service to the school have already been announced and posted, and those who have been so designated will receive certificates in the mail tomorrow morning. I wish to express to them our special thanks for their fine spirit and contribution to the welfare of the school. Before making the various awards which are customarily given at commencement, may I express again our thanks to the many donors who have made possible prizes which recognize accomplishments in many fields. In addition to the pleasure of giving these to boys who deserve them, it is a pleasant occasion for us to recall the many families and individuals who have contributed much to Gilman through the years in many ways other than these prizes, but these prizes help us to remember them, and we do so very gratefully as we make this year's awards. I should say that always in making awards, the faculty are conscious of the fact that on this day many boys will not receive public recognition who have contributed significantly to the school in quiet ways where no specific award exists. And this is the great problem and the great disadvantage of commencement awards. And I would like first of all to say to the class as a whole how grateful we are for many services and contributions which will not be recognized in specific awards that I will make now. I hope that they may sense from things that we have said to them our great appreciation of what they did for us generously, often without any thought of recognition. And this is certainly one of the highest attributes of character, and many boys deserve this citation. I shall begin by making the various awards in athletics. The first award is the Junior Tennis Cup, which is awarded to the boy who wins the Junior Tennis Tournament. The winner this year is Alfred Clark Bedford III. The Mrs. John M.T. Finney Senior Tennis Cup, which is given each year by Mrs. George G. Finney, to the boy who wins the Senior Tennis Tournament. The winner this year is Raymond Bucklew. The Culver Football Cup. This award was established by Mrs. Milton C. Whitaker in memory of her 2 sons, John K. Culver, Jr. of the class of 1934, and Robert F.M. Culver of the class of 1937. It is awarded each year to the varsity football player who, in the opinion of the coaching staff, is deemed to be the best player. The cup is awarded this year to Richard Randolph Plummer. The C.B. Alexander Jr. Wrestling Cup. In the spring of 1948, Mr. Holmes M. Alexander of the class of 1924 established this cup in memory of his brother Charles B. Alexander Jr. of the class of 1926, who was killed in action in Germany in 1945. It is to be awarded to Gilman's best wrestler, and the award this year goes to Reginald Frederick Nikolai Ungern. The class of 1939 basketball trophy, which was presented by the members of this class to honor their classmates Edwin G. Bacher, Tyler Camel, John G. Thomas, George Carl Westerland, who died in the service of their country in World War II. It is given to the varsity basketball player who best combines fair play, leadership, and skill on the court. The winner this year is Vernon Charles Kelly, Jr. The Tyler Camel Lacrosse Cup. In the spring of 1945, Mr. and Mrs. Ferris Thompson established the Lacrosse Cup in honor and memory of Tyler Camel of the class of 1939, who was killed in action in the Great War. This cup is presented to the most valuable player to his team who has shown leadership and true sportsmanship throughout the season. The award this year goes to Charles Harvey Stanley. The Alumni Baseball Cup, presented by the Alumni Association of the school, to be kept in the school and inscribed with the name of the boy who has been of greatest service to his team. For the second time, the award goes to Wilford Council Chase. The William Cabell Bruce Jr. Athletic Cup, awarded to the boy in one of the 4 upper forms most conspicuous for general proficiency in athletic sports and exercises during the past 2 years, and this without having incurred the reproach of questionable conduct in any respect. The large cup remains in the school and has the names of the winners engraved on it. The award this year goes to 2 boys, John Singleton Nixdorf, Charles Harvey Stanley. And now the academic awards. Because of the large number of prizes we have awarded at morning assembly, the prizes which pertain to the lower forms, including the Harvard Alumni Prize previously given at commencement to the ranking scholar of the 5th form. And I will call your attention to the list of these, which will be in the news, where all of the awards will be listed. First of all, the prizes for the leading scholars in the 6 forms, those boys who stand first in the academic average in their forms. And I'm going to ask these boys to come forward as a group. I will read their names, beginning with the 1st form. The 1st form, Pope Furman Brock third. Second form, Robert Haxel Johnson. Third form, John Emory Cross, third. Fourth form, Richard Kemp Slaughter. Fifth form, Terrence Holliday Ellen. Sixth form, Walter George Lohr, Jr. And now the prize for scholarship in the upper school, the boy who stood first in scholarship. And this year, the award goes to Frederick Graff Whelan, third. The Armstrong Prizes for Prose and Poetry. To stimulate composition, 2 prizes are offered to boys of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th forms, one for the best lyrical verse contributed to the Blue and the Gray, and the other for the best imaginative prose submitted to the magazine. They are offered in memory of Mrs. Alexander Armstrong. The award for poetry goes to James English Williams, Jr., and the award for prose goes to Mitchell Hooper Miller, Jr. The Blue and the Gray Prose Prize for 1st and 2nd formers, awarded by the Blue and the Gray magazine, and it goes this year to Pope Furman Brock, III. The Elizabeth Woolsey Gilman Prize of Books is given annually through the legacy of Judge John M. Woolsey of New York in memory of his aunt, Mrs. Daniel Coit Gilman, to that boy in one of the 3 upper forms who passes the best examination on books, the reading of which is not required as a part of the school curriculum. The prize is awarded this year to Thomas Carl Chase, III. The Mrs. J. Crossan Cooper Debating Cup. This cup, which was presented in 1913 by Mrs. J. Crossan Cooper, each year since that time, the names of the members of the winning team in the final debate between the Areopagus and the next debating clubs have been inscribed upon it. And it has upon it the names of a distinguished group of graduates of this school for over a period of 49 years. The winning team this year was the Areopagus, who upheld the affirmative side of the debate on the unique topic, resolved that we should pity our grandchildren. I ask that the members of the winning team this year, whose names are already inscribed on the cup, which is the cup on my far right, will rise at their seats as I read their names. Carrie Wilson Jackson, Jr., John Albert Katzenellenbogen, Walter George Lohr, Jr. Dr. John M.T. Finney Sr. Debating Prizes. These debating prizes were given for many years by Mrs. John M.T. Finney, whose keen interest in the school was strong and unfailing. And since her death, these prizes have been continued by Mrs. George G. Finney. The prizes are in the form of books awarded to the outstanding speakers in the 49th Annual School Debate. The prizes are given this year to the first speaker, Walter George Lohr, Jr., second speaker, Carrie Wilson Jackson, Jr. The sixth form speaking prizes in the form of books are awarded to the two boys who deliver the best speeches in the annual speaking contest, which is held among the leading speakers in the sixth form. The name of the first speaker is inscribed upon a cup given by T. Courtney Jenkins of the class of 1944 and Charles Frick Jenkins of the class of 1945. The first speaker this year is Carrie Wilson Jackson, Jr., and the second speaker, John Newton Peabody, Jr. The Cameron Debating Medallion, given by Mr. Broadnax Cameron of the class of 1914, in memory of his father, George Cameron, Jr., and his mother, Mary Broadnax Cameron, is awarded each year by the debating advisors for excellence in debating based upon the work in the fifth and sixth forms and in the final debate. The award this year goes to Walter George Lohr, Jr. The Alec Randall Jr. Memorial Prize, donated by the friends and parents of Alec Randall Jr. of the class of 1942, who died valiantly in the Great War. It is awarded to that boy who has been outstanding in his interest and contribution to literary or publication activities, or has encouraged younger boys in these fields. The award this year goes to George Van Velsor Wolf, Jr. The class of 1952 Drama Prize, made possible by certain members of the class of 1952, awarded each year to that member of the graduating class who has shown exceptional interest and aptitude in dramatics during his school career. This year, the award goes to John Newton Peabody, Jr. The John M.T. Finney Sr. Essay Prize, in honor of Dr. Finney, who was president of the Board of Trustees for 30 years and given each year by Mr. Richard F. Cleveland, is awarded to the member of the graduating class who submits the best written discussion or essay on some current aspect of democracy. The subject for this year's essay was, "Can Today's Republican Party Avoid the Fate of the Federalists and the Whigs?" The award this year goes to Carrie Wilson Jackson, Jr. The Lewis Omer Woodward Award, established in 1956 by the parents and friends of Lewis Woodward, an outstanding member of the class of 1958. The award is in his honor and memory, is given each year to a member of the third form who has revealed in largest measure qualities of leadership, enthusiasm, and loyalty which were strikingly characteristic of Louis Woodward. The award this year goes to Geoffrey Le Boudelier. The Janvier Science Prize, established in 1956 in memory of Meredith Minor Janvier, a member of the class of 1918, long a teacher of science in this school, and for many years until his death, chairman of the science department and dean of the faculty. To that fifth or sixth former who has evidenced real interest and ability of a high order in the field of science, the award to John Albert Katzenellenbogen. The Williams College Prize for General Proficiency in Latin. The award is given to that member of the fourth, fifth, or sixth forms who is deemed by the Latin department to be most proficient in Latin, and the award is made possible by the Baltimore alumni of Williams College. This year, the award is made for the second time to Walter George Lohr, Jr. The Herbert E. Pickett Prize for General Proficiency in History. This prize was established in 1961 by Walter Lord of the class of 1935 to honor the memory of an inspiring teacher at Gilman from 1913 to 1939. Mr. Pickett was a devoted friend and a delightful, entertaining companion of a great host of men and boys through the years. And he was as well a stimulating and engaging teacher who had great admiration and affection for this school and for its graduates. The award this year goes to George Van Velsor Wolf, Jr. The prize for proficiency in French, awarded by the Alliance Française to that boy in the sixth form French class who is deemed by the French department to be most proficient in French. The award this year is made to William Chattard Whitman. The prize for proficiency in mathematics, presented by the Princeton Alumni Association of Maryland and awarded to that boy in the upper forms who passes the best examination in mathematics. The name of the winner is placed on a permanent tablet in the main school hallway, and the prize is awarded for the second time to Johnson Murdoch Hart. The D.K.S.D. Fisher Nature Study Award, established in 1955 by Mrs. D.K.S.D. Fisher in memory of Mr. Fisher, the last surviving founder of the school, whose faith and devotion as founder and trustee sustained and advanced the school from 1897 until his death in 1953. It is given to that boy in one of the three upper forms who through his studies, reading, and activities has developed a real interest, understanding, and appreciation of some field of natural history. For the second time, this award goes to James English Williams, Jr. Each year, there are a number of boys to whom the faculty feel especially indebted for helpfulness and contributions which have added greatly to the success and happiness of the year's work. Though it is always difficult to single out only a few boys, we have done so this year, and on behalf of the faculty, I would like to present to 6 boys framed etchings of the school as an expression of our appreciation. As I read their names, I will ask these boys to come forward and receive this memento with our thanks, and I shall read each one the sentence on it as I give it to him. James Brereton Andrew, Charles Cadwell Emmons, Jr., John Albert Katzenellenbogen, Walter George Lohr, Jr., Robert E. Mason, Jr., Thomas Schweitzer, Jr. To James B. Andrew, with appreciation from the faculty for marked fidelity to school obligations and expectations. Jimmy? To Charles Cadwell Emmons, Jr., with appreciation from the faculty for cheerful response to any school need. To John Albert Katzenellenbogen, with appreciation from the faculty for unfailing helpfulness with quiet competence. To Walter George Lohr, Jr., with appreciation from the faculty for inspiring direction of many school projects. To Robert E. Mason, Jr., with appreciation from the faculty for many helpful services through the years. To Thomas Schweitzer, Jr., with appreciation from the faculty for cheerful and ready acceptance of varied responsibilities. The Peter P. Blanchard Memorial Award, made possible by a fund donated by the children and relatives of Mr. Blanchard, who was business manager of the school from 1917 to 1944. It is awarded to that boy in the upper school who, by his cheerful helpfulness in many ways, has contributed to the successful and pleasant life of the school. And these qualities were outstanding in the life of Mr. Blanchard, in whose memory the prize is given. The award this year goes to Kerry Wilson Jackson, Jr. The Daniel Baker Jr. Memorial Award. This prize is given in memory of Mr. Daniel Baker Jr. by his stepson, Dr. Mason F. Lord, to a member of the graduating class who, through service and by reason of his life and character, has contributed to the general welfare and ideals of the school. The award this year goes to Winston Nicholson Brundage. The William A. Fisher Medallion. This medallion was established by the late Mrs. William Cabell Bruce in honor of her father, Judge William A. Fisher, the first president of the Board of Trustees. It is given only to a member of the upper 5th or 6th form who has been in the school for 3 consecutive years, is in complete and regular standing in his form, and is closing his school career. The medallion is given among boys of high standing in scholarship to that boy who has rendered the highest service that can be rendered the school by leadership based on the influence of character. The award this year is to William Chatard Whitman. As is our custom, the diplomas will be presented by the President of the Board of Trustees. No one in recent years has been more concerned for the welfare of the school, for he was the moving spirit of both the War Memorial Scholarship Campaign in 1947 and our recent effort to build the science building and improve the lower school. With this very brief expression of our lasting thanks to him for all he has done, I would like to present Mr. Richard W. Emory, the class of 1931, President of the Board of Trustees.
Mr. Callard, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fully aware that when the program gets to me each year, nobody wants to hear any more speeches. A lot has been said about the new buildings. I do want to add the thanks of the Board of Trustees to everyone who has made this project so successful. I also want to do one other thing, and then I will hand out the diplomas. I think the reason we all send our boys to Gilman and the thing that makes the school great is the faculty. And I think we often lose sight of the fact that the real heart and spirit of the school is the faculty. So I'd like to ask everybody to give an ovation to the faculty. So, with those few words, Mr. Callard,
you will notice on the program those boys who are members of cum laude have been designated. Their election to the honorary academic honor of secondary schools is a tribute to the excellence of their scholarship. I shall read the names of each graduate, and he will come forward and receive his diploma from Mr. Emory. Thurston Ray Adams, Jr. James Brereton Andrew. John Warfield Armiger, Jr. William Anderson Barnes. Martin Wallace Beadle. Haney Hardy Bell, III. Paul Lawrence Borsick. Robert Froome Boyd. Wilson John Chester Braun, Jr. Winston Nicholson Brundage. Richard Otis Buck. Wilford Council Chase. Douglas Grant Clark. Warren Bloss Daly, Jr. Harold Khyber Dell, III. David Barton Dugdale. Thomas Michael Edwards. Charles Cadwell Emmons, Jr. John Burke Emory. Richard McDougall Farrell. John Howard Fishburne. Charles Gordon Hammond, Jr. Johnson Murdoch Hart. Frank Thomas Howard. E. Kingdon Hurlock, Jr. Carrie Wilson Jackson, Jr. Warren Jackson Iliff. John Albert Katzenellenbogen. Vernon Charles Kelly, Jr. William M. Kerr. Fielding Lewis. Robert Carruthers Little, Jr. Walter George Lohr, Jr. Daniel Reed Long, III. Kenneth Charles Marburg. Charles Bernard Merrick, Jr. Robert E. Mason, Jr. Lawrence Mills, Jr. Gilbert Horton Mudge, Jr. John Singleton Nixdorf. William Pendleton Nessel. Frederick Joseph O'Brien, second. Robert Lee Oster. John Newton Peabody, Jr. Richard Randolph Plummer. Kenneth Donald Proctor. Edward Lamore Rich III. Robert Burks Ridenauer. Lyle Prevost Schill, Jr. William Kendall Schultz. Thomas Schweitzer, Jr. William Wallace Scott, Jr. William Barton Schaefer. John Walter Sheldon. Carrie Lane Simmons. Charles Harvey Stanley. William Alfred Sullivan, Jr. Reginald Frederick Nikolai Ungern. William Chatard Whitman. James English Williams, Jr. George Van Velsor Wolf, Jr. William Meredith Wood, III. There remains only the conclusion of these exercises, and to the class of 1962, at this point we bid a formal farewell, but I should say to you that you will always be a part of this institution wherever you are in future years, for our interest and our concern for you never ends. We greet the class of 1963 with great hopes and confidence. You have always been an enterprising and imaginative group who have already contributed much to the school, and we look forward to the next school year with present anticipation and high expectations. To the rest of the school, may I express our best wishes for an interesting and pleasant summer, and to say how much we count on you to make the new opportunities of the coming year an exciting advance in the progress of the school. I'm very happy that the Reverend Lawrence Mills, father of Larry Mills of the graduating class, is with us today, and he will give the benediction. Let us rise then and sing, as has been our custom, the familiar hymn, Our God, Our Help in Ages Past, and the last stanza of America, and remain standing for the benediction.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace now and evermore.